Hi there, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about the pricing strategy for maximum profit and growth. And that's an extremely important part of any business, particularly a startup business. So let's look at what's involved. When we talk about pricing in this regard, what are we talking about exactly? What do we mean? And how can we make sure we don't fall prey of poor pricing? All right. The first type of pricing that you and I can embark upon is a pricing strategy or pricing model that looks at cost plus pricing. In other words, I look at how much a service is costing me, then I add something on top of it. I start with cost plus pricing. I'll calculate the cost of the product or the service and add a markup, is called, onto it. This ensures that obviously potentially you cover your cost and make a profit. Question is, what should the markup be? Should it be 30%? Should it be 40%? Should it be 100%? Should it be 150%? Nobody knows. You'll have to play around with the costs and then come to one which makes you a profit and also covers all your expenses. It's one way of doing it. There are other ways. The second way of probably taking a look at your pricing strategy or your pricing model is to consider what is called competitive analysis. In other words, what you do is you analyze your competitors' pricing. You say, okay, how much are they charging? If I'm charging, £100 for this particular service, how much are they charging? Are they charging £80 or are they charging £200? And then to understand where your positioning is in the market and to adjust your pricing strategy accordingly. I don't like this type of pricing, even though it's something that people teach, something that people do. The tendency for most of us is to charge less than we want, is to charge less than we deserve. We look at what competitors are charging and we say, oh, well, I'm going to charge less than the competitors because in that way people will come to me. It doesn't work that way most of the time. You cannot wrestle with some competitors. In fact, they will drive you out of the market. They can give away their product in order just to get rid of you. That's what happens with sometimes the corner shops and the supermarkets. A supermarket moves into the area. Well, actually, I got a story. I remember one particular time, it used to be you went to this corner shop and the guy just seemed not to even have time for you. It seemed like you are a bother. You are just a nuisance, even though you have come to give him your own hard-earned cash. He would not even sometimes even look you in the eye. He would just tell you what the price is and just collect the money and not even say thank you or whatever. And then I noticed one day I went to the shop and the guy was all bright and chirpy, saying hello to me, and I was thinking, what is going on here? What has changed? Has this guy finally seen the light? Is he now a changed person? And then I noticed, it was when I came out of his shop, I noticed that Sainsbury's had just moved in next door. And Sainsbury's moved in they're a major supermarket, but they have local branches, just up every small high street. And I noticed that they had moved in. And the only reason why he was being nice is because he now knows he's got competition. He's got a heavy competition. And we know that people in Sainsbury's or supermarket don't necessarily have to say hello to you, but because their pricing is always less than the small shops, you may be forced to go there and neglect his business. So now he knows he needs to be nice. And that tells me something. You're saying, well, what's that got to do with competitive pricing? He had failed to realize his own unique selling proposition. And his unique selling proposition is to know people by name, know what they want, and be able to offer a conversation because most people who work in large supermarkets, they would not even talk to you. They don't care about your name. They don't care about your children. They don't care about your job. They just want to, it's like a transactional relationship. This is £2, you pay, I go. Next person, please, you pay, they go. No conversation, nothing. Just pay and go. That's just the way they work. And he, as a local store, and I will go to his shop to buy from him, I mean, reasonably, if if he were to say hello to me nicely and just give me a better experience than I would get from the supermarket down the road. Anyway, that tells us that you can still compete against your competitors, even at a higher price, because you don't have their buying power that makes things cheaper, if only you identify what your unique selling proposition is. So going with competitors' pricing is not necessarily the best way to do business. That's my opinion, and that's what I've seen from the lives of so many people. So therefore, we come to the third and my probably preferred method of pricing, which is to consider value-based pricing, which is you price your product based on the value it provides to customers, not just the cost to produce it. And then you value it based on what they are prepared to pay for it. In fact, I was saying to my wife yesterday, we were talking, I said, there's everything, there's everything on the internet. And I said, but there are some people, and that includes me and you, that will only buy something when there's a price tag on it. They will only read a book because they have to pay for it. They will only buy a course because it's got a price on it. Even if they can find the same course free online, they will either buy one that is paid for. We are all like that. We buy things that are paid for, and we would read things that are free. Like this video has been produced on YouTube. I might include it in some of my paid courses because it's that good, but it's still the way we work. So sometimes I will charge for a product based on a perceived value, or I may charge on a product based on what I think the customers want to pay. But here is something. The higher you charge for a product, the more you will have to deliver. So don't mistake that. The higher you charge for a product, the more you'll have to deliver. And sometimes, in an effort to push myself to deliver better value, I will charge more for a product, knowing that I now have to deliver much more than I did when I was charging at a lower price. And that helps me to grow, that helps me to improve, and that helps me to progress and advance. So it could be one way. I prefer the value-based pricing than any of the other two that I've spoken about. So let's recap. How can you price your products? Well, cost plus pricing, competitors pricing, and then finally value-based pricing. All right. If you like this video, then do like it. If you like it, do subscribe to the channel. If you like it, do share it. And if you like it, do comment below. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.